What's up, guys? Welcome to 12M Hustle. Let's get into it. So on this video, I'm going to go over my four tickers that I traded this past week. All right, let's start off JFIN. So I have a 3-minute chart right here on pre-market. What I did is I drew out my resistance and my support. Okay, so as you can see, prior resistance the day before that was about $15. So I drew it at about $14.59, and then prior support was about $13.45. So the game plan was once it broke this support, I was going to go in short. Of course, I waited till market open to actually trade it. I saw that it broke it. I waited before entering. I also waited to see if it broke VWAP. Once it broke VWAP and I saw the volume, I went in. I shorted it from around 12.32 all the way down to prior support of 10.21. It was about a $3 play. So that was it. That was the game plan on it. Now, if you guys can notice on the daily, you see this big spike. This is the whole reason I got in. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why I got into this trade. So when it spiked on the 23rd all the way up to 14.49, I was like, oh, parabolic. I'm like, what goes up must come down. So that's kind of what voted me towards shorting this stock instead of riding the wave thinking it was going to go all the way up to $30. Of course, I was paying attention to the volume. If you go down to the 15-minute, you guys can tell, look at that, right? So if you would have shorted it from here and you did multiple day shorting, you could have rolled it all the way down to 8.58. But I advise that's very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, because you can't get short squeezed and you can't blow out your account. So I advise against that. There's nothing wrong with playing the short on this and taking your profits and getting out. And then also the day before, you could have, if you knew about the breakout, you could have been like, oh, you could have rolled this all the way up, right? So there it is. Pay attention to volume, guys. Okay, so let's get into DLPN. Let's pop up the daily for you guys. So if you guys can tell, look, these kind of look. This one kind of looks the same as JFIN, right? These NFT stocks almost all look the same. They all have this parabolic hype last week. So let's get into it. 5-minute chart. And here it is. So as you can tell, went all the way to about 37. I drew right here. I drew a freaking resistance, and then I have a support back down here, right? So this is all pre-market stuff. Game plan, almost same as JFIN. I decided to go in short once it finally broke this prior support, okay, and it broke VWAP, and I saw the volume. So look at this volume, 1.98. So all this combined together, then I decided to enter the trade. So I went about short right about here, 28.61, and this one was kind of an all-day thing for me, and I wrote it all the way to about the bottom because I had prior support at 18.29. See that? Okay, guys, that's how I know when to get in and when to get out. And of course, I'm always paying attention to the volume, because let's just say in the middle of the day, let's say it would have spiked over VWAP. Then I would have, if I would have saw it break VWAP, I would have got out, right? That would have been it. But since I saw it touch VWAP, get rejected, I'm like, I'm staying in this trade. Waited for all the way to go down to prior support, covered it, and then made my profits and got out. Okay, this is DLPN, and let's do BNTC. Let's do the daily real quick, show you guys on the daily. Boom, see, look at that, almost identical, right? All this parabolic stuff going on. Look at that, boom, 10.49 goes all the way up. So then I go ahead into my daily, draw my support and resistance. I also draw these all-time highs on it just in case it squeezes, to see where it can also reach to. All right, so it's also important, you guys, when you guys writing your support and resistance, just go ahead and see how much farther it can go if it has more to go. It's just in case if your plan was to short it. If not, maybe you can change your bias and go long. It all depends on what's going on, right? You pretty much react to the situation. You have a game plan. If your game plan doesn't work out, then you switch it up. So, and this was 23rd, right over here. Boom. This was kind of a small short for me, but it was kind of stress-free. So pre-market, saw this, drew my support and resistance. Ideally, I wanted to get in here at 8.4, but I was like, I didn't look like before the open, looked like it wasn't going to give it no more. Looked about 7.6 was going to be the new. resistance. But what I did is I went support, same thing. One tip broke support, one tip broke VWAP. Once I saw this huge red candles, you can tell, look at this. This is almost 22 million, right? So that's a huge red candle. That's a huge volume. You can tell that this thing, it's about to get dumped. And so what I did, I shorted it from here all the way down to what? Prior support of about 5.4. That was it. So I went from 6.9 all the way to about 5.4. Didn't get greedy and got out. All this consolidation. Then after this consolidation, midday, then it freaking broke out again and went back to 10.49. Now, if I wasn't paying attention, if I would have been greedy and stayed in it and not followed my plan, I would have got chopped up, right? I would have got eaten alive with this since I was shorting it. So always pay attention to your volume. Same thing if you wanted to long this on the reverse side, you would have looked at this towards the end of the day, like, oh, it broke VWAP. Oh, look at this volume. Oh, look at this prior resistance that it had now, because now this becomes resistance. So you're like, oh, sweet, let me get in. And then you didn't have to get in here. You could have gotten in here. You would have got a confirmed VWAP. You would have got, high volume. You wrote it from here all the way to about right here, 9038, which would have been a little bit higher than prior the resistance that I had in pre-market, right? This is how I use my support and resistance to get in and out of my trades, okay? And I use volume, and that's it. Control my emotions, I control risk, control your management, okay, on size. So YVR, last one of the week for last week. So I'm gonna pull a daily on for you guys, and look at this. Insane, right? Look at that. 7.5. Look at that. Huge parabolic move up top. So what goes up must come down, right? Obviously, you guys can see that now, a couple days later. But let's go look into the 5-minute chart. Boom. So same thing. Pre-market. What did it do? Got rejected twice, right? Right over here at about 5.9, right? This was prior resistance. This is your prior support, right? Drew it. Now, if you were going to go long, on this, you would have waited for it to break, right? Break out, break this prior resistance, and then rode it from about 5.9 all the way to 7.5. Now, my game plan was to short it, so I stuck to my bias. I saw this. I didn't play this. I didn't play this kind of morning chop going on. No, I waited till about midday. Once I stuck to my plan, once it broke 5.9 and it broke VWAP, so I have 2 confirmations for me. Plus, I have volume, right? So I have three check marks for me, right? Breaks VWAP, breaks my prior line that I drew out for support. So I'm like, I'm all in. And then, not all in figuratively, but I went in, executed the trade, and I got out right around here, 4.7. Okay, I didn't get greedy. This was just prior support. It's kind of idea. This was kind of the zone for me to get out. So I went from about here, about 5.8, 5.9, and got out about 4.7. And that was it. That was my short. So I waited for my plan, and I executed it. All right, so I hope you guys like my content. I hope you guys like the video. Please make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Really appreciate it, okay? Just trying to help everybody out, that's trading, just start off trading. My channel is free. I don't have any other, chat rooms. I don't do any of that. It's just free. I give free knowledge. This is my experience. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please comment, subscribe, and like. Check out my other videos. Thank you. Have a great trading week, guys. Let's go.